Yes, this is where we ended last week.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay, I think it was the audio. So yeah, so this is what I highlighted. Remember, this is what I highlighted. This is what we have done so far. You remember we've done these things. Remember, especially with this information, all this information that we have used here is what I have highlighted. Are we together?
Yes, we are together.
Yes. So the next thing that we need to do with the next section called operating expenses, but sometimes we call it distribution, administrative, and other expenses. Remember, so far we have dealt with other incomes. Now it's time for us to go to the expenses. Are we together?
Yes.
Yes. So we have to start with expenses. So we normally call them distribution. Okay, why is it doing this? Yeah, but it's okay. I didn't want to have this. Let me do this. Let's see. Let me just write it down like this. Distribution, administrative, and other expenses. So the same way we'll dealt with other incomes, we're gonna deal with these expenses. Okay,
Okay.
no problem. So our responsibility, this is how I prefer to, we have to go and check any expense here, and thereafter we check additional information like we have done last week. Okay.
All right.
So let's go and remember now, whatever we highlighted, we don't have to worry. So we have to check the first expense we see here. What do you think will be the first expense that we need to check according to you?
Yeah, I'll start with the easy ones. The
No
difficult
problem.
ones, I don't know, help will help me with it. Okay. First
No.
one is water and electricity.
Yes, I agree. The next one, let's
And
just talk about them before. You said water,
okay, and
electricity.
then
I agree.
next one is engine,
Yes.
fuel,
Yes.
repairs,
Yes.
carriage on sales. No,
Yes. Yes, you're
that one
correct.
I'm not sure.
You're
It's an
correct.
expense.
Yes.
Okay, then telephone expenses,
Yes.
and then we go to what's next? Insurance,
Yes.
packaging material,
Yes.
Mm, ish, I'm not sure.
Say it. I'll correct you.
Depreciation.
Correct. Can you see? These are expenses.
Insurance on purchases.
So I highlighted it. We used it before because we used it by the time when we calculated cost of sales. Remember?
Insurance on purchases. Yes.
Yes. Remember? That's why I said you must. Whatever you used, you cannot use again. Can you see? You must know that if it is related to
Okay.
purchases, it will always be added to that purchases date. Can you see?
We done with it.
Yes. And I don't disagree with the fact that it is an expense. It's an expense, but it affects cost of sales.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, note that. So again, I want you to note the difference between the carriage on purchases and carriage on sales. Can you see now?
Yes.
So anything to do with the purchases must be added to purchases up there when we calculate cost of sales. That's why here you cannot see carriage on sales
Okay.
here. We don't use carriage on sales. Carriage on sales is part of the operating what? Income.
Okay.
Are we together?
So carriage on sales is part of the operating income.
No, it's not an income, it's an expense.
So it affects which account?
Expenses. It's an account on its own.
Okay.
It's an account on its own.
Oh,
Are you with me?
yes.
Yes. So that's why you need to understand. That's why we now are using it. It's like carriage on sales is like when you are selling to your customers, you charge them for transport. Carriage is transport. You transport goods to them, you charge them transport. So it's an operating expense.
Oh,
Are
okay.
you with me? Yes. So
All
don't be
right.
surprised when I
Okay.
keep writing this. I don't know my system today. When I write something here, maybe I'm not
Yes,
good with it. It gives me some boxes like I don't know what's in this somewhere. Maybe I don't know. Let's see. Maybe I must press somewhere because it gives me some boxes. No, let's leave it for now because I don't know. It's giving me these boxes. I don't know why. But let's continue. But you got the point, eh?
yes, I did.
No problem. Now let's go and check. Okay, for me usually, can you see the highlighting part helps?
Yeah, it helps a lot.
Yes. You were trying to say something?
I was asking if the expenses that I've mentioned are all of them or are mixed others.
Come again? Come closer to the microphone.
I was asking if I was asking if the expenses that are mentioned are they all or are they are the ones that are missed out?
No, from the list, those are all the expenses because the other ones are not expenses. Can you see sometimes just to check? They normally group expenses and incomes together. Can you see? They normally start with the sales. I'm not all the time. So meaning everything above the
Yeah.
sales, all those things are assets out, or some of them are liabilities, some of them are owners' equities. So we don't have any other expense up there. But in
Okay.
most cases, they try to group expenses together and incomes like this. and upwards, because there are two sections. This we call this balance sheet section, and this we call it nominal account section. So usually they give you this format. So things like loans are not expenses. Can you see?
Okay.
Yes. So I will take them in this order. The first one that I'm going to take is going to be depreciation.
All right.
So this will be our first income, not income, expense. So I'm going to go and I'm going to just try I'm just going to put it inside here. So I don't know what's happening today. And then this is the depreciation. Can you see now? I put depreciation there, and then I have to go back. This is the amount, which is 19,100. But before we can do that, remember we must go and check if there's any other depreciation here. If there is any depreciation, we're gonna calculate and add that depreciation. But for this exercise, if we can check from this information, there is no depreciation here.
Okay.
So, meaning I'm gonna put the depreciation as it is. So I'm just gonna come here and just put that depreciation. Does that make sense?
Yes, it makes sense. Okay.
Please never mind the blocks for me. Yes, you can ask.
You said if on the additional information there was something else about or another information about depreciation, we add. We always add, or it will secure.
It will always add, because remember the asset lose value every time, every year. So obviously if you have another information here which is additional, it means you have got additional depreciation. So usually this exercise is like very rare. They don't normally give you depreciation in most cases. They normally ask you to calculate that depreciation here. But we are lucky on this one, they did not ask us to calculate depreciation.
Okay.
But I wish one day we can do an exercise whereby we have to calculate it ourselves.
Okay. No.
Yes.
Next time we have an exercise.
Yes. No problem. Yeah. But remember, we have to start somewhere with the basic. Okay.
Yes.
So at the moment, I just want to highlight what we have used so far so that we cannot make a mistake. I think so far we used this one. Let me just do this. We used this one, number 2. We've dealt with it before. Number 4. Remember, I think we did this the other time. I think because I think the information was not saved. So yeah, so that is what we have done so far. So even this one we have used it when we're calculating cost of sales. Can you see now?
Yes, I remember.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just for our control, so that we cannot. You know, if you highlight or tick, you save time. You don't need to highlight or tick. Using it again. Can we?
Yes.
Check it. I'm gonna highlight this one. I'm gonna highlight this one. No, not this. Where is it? The one that I just used. This one we've just used it. I'm just gonna highlight for this. Yeah. And then the next one will be what? Can you see? I'm gonna say insurance. So insurance again, I'm gonna do the same thing.
Yes.
Never mind this. I'm gonna fix this there after. Don't worry about this because I don't feel good when it does this. I don't know. It's for the first time. So insurance, same procedure.
Yes.
Balance is 8575. We have to go and check if there's any insurance here information. Okay. Do you see any insurance information?
Yes.
Number
9.
Number 9.
Number 9. The amount
the insurance.
Yes. The premiums, the months of July and August.
Remember, on that day, you and I, we formulated our accounting period. Remember, we had something like this?
Yes.
And then our year ended on the 30th of June. 25, and we had to begin on the 1st of July 24.
July.
Remember, yes, this helps a lot because this will give us an idea of what's happening here. Whatever they mention here, we will need to check. They say the insurance includes premium for months of June, July, and August. Which year? 25. Where do you think are these months here? Where do you think are they? Are they inside or outside or before this month?
July. They're outside. So after our
They are
year end.
perfect. I like that. So it means the amount that we are talking about here, which is, let me go and write it down. This amount is insurance. This one. 85. Yeah. Yes, this amount. Let me write it down here in brackets here. So this means this amount includes the 2 months which are for the next year. Are you with me?
Okay. Yes.
So it means these 2 months, we cannot include them this month because they are for next year. So the term that we use, we say the insurance has been paid in advance. I don't know if it makes sense or not.
Yes, it does.
And then what is the term that we used, like when we did our theory? I don't know if you spoke about theory, but I don't remember that much. So what can you say we call this? We call it?
Prepaid.
Perfect. Prepaid. To be specific, you say prepaid what? Expense.
Okay.
Can you see now? So meaning prepaid expense. If I may ask you, this, it means this amount of 8575 includes the amount for how many months? Remember, our year is how many months? Yeah, it's going to be how many months? Come again?
Our year is months, and then we have 2 months, which is July and August. So it's 14 months.
14 months. So we need to take out those 2 months. That's why prepaids are always deducted, remember? So what we need to do, we need to take this 8575 and check how much is 1 month. Are you with me? How can I calculate 1 month?
Yes. You divide by the number of months.
Yes, 8575
divide by
14. Okay, can you see? And then from that amount is then that you are going to, I don't know if you are, if I put everything here, you're going to multiply it by 2 because it's for 2 months. Does that make sense to you? Because 2 months must be minused. Or you can do it aside, doesn't matter. So how much you get if you say 8575 divided by 14?
So 8575 divided by 14 times 2.
Yes. No, you can just say equals for now.
Equals to.
Yes. You get 1 month.
Equals to 612.50.
So that means it's for 1 month. But because we've got 2 months in advance, multiply it by 2.
Okay. It's 1,225.
That amount is the amount that is prepaid. We must deduct it minus 8575. Minus the other, minus 8575. We only need the amount to be here. How much did you get?
So we minus the 1,725 from the
Remember,
8,525.
how much did you get? You get 9,000, so you got more than we have. I think you made a mistake. So
No,
you
I
said you got
got 1,025. Then after
1,020
that,
is when you multiply by 2.
for the 2 months, yes.
Yes, and you minus it from 8,000. Eh?
Okay, then I say 8,000 minus the 2 months, which is 1,200.
Perfect.
Okay, I got 7,350.
350 like this. Eh?
Yes.
No problem. Please talk to me if you're lost. Can you see they trick you with this information? You must know that, okay, we don't need anything from for next period. So if the amount is including the amount for next period, we must take it out for now. That's why we had to do this.
Okay.
Any question?
Yes, I got a question.
Yes.
So with the calculation that we just did, do I
Yes.
have to do it there, or can I do separately and come up with the amount?
Yes, you can do it separately, but make sure that you show the examiner where is the calculation. You see, maybe you can have a part for calculation at the bottom where we say number 1, and then you calculate, and then you also put that one here so that the examiner can and check your calculation. It doesn't matter how you put it.
Okay, okay,
But
I understand.
sure, because I know the calculations will help you a lot, because sometimes you can find that if you are sure, but you will never be sure in things, you can even not show the calculation and show the 7,350. But what if you are wrong? You're going to lose all the marks. If this is 5 marks only, you're going to lose all the 5 marks. But if you show the calculation, they will come and mark some of the calculation. Maybe you only lose 2 marks out of 5. I don't know if it makes sense.
Okay, okay, yes, it does make sense.
Yes.
Okay, another follow-up question.
Yes.
So, if they say maybe the amount that we have, the 2 months that they added, it says maybe they did not pay for those 2 months. So there we're gonna be adding, not minusing.
Remember, the transactions will be rephrased. They won't say you did not pay for July and August. Can you see what they're gonna do? The months that they're gonna talk about, they will be within the year. That's the only situation that can happen. So let's say they say July. Okay, they can say July, or let's say July. No, they can't say July, August. There must be months. They will say June, for example, June 2025 and May 2025. So
Yeah.
it will mean
Okay.
that the amount given to us here, this amount of insurance is only for 10 months. Can you see now?
Yes.
So we had to find 1 month, the same way we did with this one, and thereafter, after finding that 1 month, we multiply it by 2. But instead of minusing, we add.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, it will be the same process to find the 1 month premium, and then
Yeah.
we find it, then we add it.
Yeah, add it. But be careful with the months. It will be 10 months, because if 2 months were not paid, it means they only received for 10 months. So those 2 months must be added. And those 2 months will be called accrued expenses.
Oh yes, yes.
Does
I forgot about
yes.
that. Okay,
Yes. Remember, accrued we add, and then the prepaid we less.
yes. We minus. Okay.
Yes. The only time we minus is when something was paid for next year. So we must only include figures for this year. That's why if they say next year we minus, but if they state anything between the year, we add.
Yes. Okay. Understand.
No problem. Perfect. Any other follow-up question? I like follow-up questions.
You can continue.
You okay for now?
Yes.
Okay. Now, let me highlight this. We've done insurance. Can you see now? Perfect. Now we can deal with the packaging material. This one. Because we said this will be our expense. So I'm going to come here and then I'll say, okay, now I've got another expense, and that expense is packaging. The same procedure, we need to go and check if we've got anything that talks about packaging material on the information here.
Okay.
Do we have?
Okay. Yes, we do. Number 3.
Number 3, okay, I'm gonna put this in brackets here because there will be obviously there will be something that I'm gonna do. So here they say the packaging material on hand. So these ones we need to be very, very careful when they say on hand. Remember, here we need the expenses, meaning we need the material that we have bought or the material that we have used. Did you get what I said?
Material that we have used.
Yeah, the one that we have used and the one that we have bought. So if you can buy any packing material, so it's going to be part of the income statement. So expenses are considered to be what we have bought and what we have used. Those will be part of what? Of the packaging material as an expense. Let me go back and explain better. Can you see here? This packing material is on hand on the 30th of June.
Yes. Yes.
But when we check the balance was 4,600 as a balance that we had. So if the balance is 4.6 here, on hand at the end is 1.2, it means we can calculate how much we have used. Does that make sense?
Okay, wait.
So this is the balance that we have. We expect to have this
Yes.
balance, but all of a sudden they say we're at the end. So at the end of June, we are left with. The reason why I say we are left with is because of the weight on hand. Are you with me?
Yes.
So if we started with 4.6 and we ended with 1.2, how much did we use during the period? How can I calculate that?
The difference you minus. Find the difference.
I like
minus.
that. Just like that. Please write it down as an exam technique. Any on hand, if you see any expense and they say on hand, just know that that on hand will always be deducted. Always is a fact.
Okay.
But that is an exam technique. But I know that in future you're going to be a lecturer, so I want you to know how to explain it to someone else.
Oh, really? Ah, that's nice. I received.
Yes. So yeah. So just know the reason why we minus. Yes, we do minus, but why? Is because we want the one that we have used here.
Okay.
Yes. How much is the difference?
3,400.
Perfect. Any question?
It's clear. I understand.
You understand? Eh?
Yes.
Perfect. Now, let's go. It's not difficult. I'm telling you. You will see after this. Next time when you take another exercise, it's gonna just flow.
Yeah.
It's gonna flow. So yes. So these ones, obviously, we have used them already because I highlighted. Can you see if we do this? This helps a lot, man. This helps a lot. This a lot. So it shows that you have used it. You have used it. Used it. You have used this. You have used this. Can you see now? It shows the
Yeah.
progress. You even feel
Yes.
confident that I've done a lot.
Yeah.
Obviously, the next one is
Telephone expenses.
yes. Again, we must check here if you've got any telephone expenses. Do you have any telephone expenses?
No.
Nothing. So one will go as it is.
Okay.
So I'm gonna say telephone expenses, and then the amount is 2420. 2420. 2420. Perfect. And you,
Okay, I understand.
no problem. I'm gonna go for our control. I'm gonna highlight. I'm gonna highlight. And the next one will be carriage on purchases, not purchases, the sales. And we check the information if you have anything about the carriage on purchase on sorry on sales here.
No, there's nothing.
Do we? There's nothing, so it means we just have to go and record 1250 as it is. So I'm gonna come here and say 1250. Just like that.
Okay.
Perfect. We've dealt with this one, we've dealt with this one, and now we go to the next one, repairs. Any repairs information?
No, nothing.
Nothing. Just put it as it is. No problem. Just highlight. Fuel. Same procedure. We check if we've got anything to do with the fuel. Any fuel
Nothing.
information? Nothing.
Nothing.
And then we just come here, and the fuel was 3479.
Yes.
Perfect. Go and highlight for our control. The next one obviously is wages. Any information about wages?
No.
No. Okay, we put the wages as they are. Which is 64115.
Yes.
Perfect. Any question?
No questions so far.
Okay, let me do this. Thank you. Mm, Next one obviously is water
Water
and
and
electricity.
electricity.
Any transaction? Any additional information?
Yes, information number 5.
Number 5, thank you. Number 5, and then 5,100. So, right, they say the water and electricity is due. What is the term that we use for due?
True.
Remember our notes before? We said sometimes they say due, sometimes they say this, sometimes they say this, and you and I said yes.
I forgot.
No pressure, no pressure. So due is the same as areas, the same as outstanding, still to be
Oh,
paid. It's a term that we
yeah.
use for it.
Okay.
Call this.
I was about to say accrued, but then now,
So I didn't.
I'm
Yes.
thinking maybe accrued is, I'm not sure if it's something that I still need to pay for, right?
Yes. Doesn't matter whether it's an expense or income, as long as you still to pay or still to receive. It will be accrued. The other one will be accrued income. The other one will be accrued expense.
Okay. No, now I'm not
It's,
going to
simi-
forget now.
it's similar to what you have asked here and said, what if those months were inside? It's the same thing. It's just that they will put it in a
Yes.
different way.
Yes.
Yes, but the same thing. So that amount was 500. Will I add or less?
Outstanding.
Do we add accrued or do we add less accrued?
We add.
We add all the time. Are you okay?
Yes.
Yes. And this one. You okay? Can we move on?
Yes. Yes, we can.
After finishing those, it doesn't mean that you ended. You must come here on the information and check if there's any other expense that is here, because it's possible that you can find that there's no expense from the balances, but you have got expenses here. Can you see now?
Oh, okay. Yes.
Now let's check the ones that we did not touch. For example, number 6. Do you see an expense here?
Mortgage.
Come closer, come closer. I can't hear you.
Okay, I was just trying to read interest
Okay. Interest. Yes. Is it an expense or income?
expense.
Expense. So it means we've got interest on mortgage bond or on mortgage loan. Mortgage is a loan
Yes.
to buy the house. So they charge that the interest. But that interest, unfortunately, is not operating expense. So it's not part of distribute. It's an expense, but it must be shown separately. So note, any interest must not be part of this section, must not be part of distribution, admin, and other expenses.
Okay.
shown separately. Are you with me?
Yes, I'm with
Yes,
you.
but still it's an expense. We're not opposing that. So yes, so we are gonna come back to it. So we check this one. Let's check number 7. Do you see any expense there?
Interest on loan,
Interest on loan. Is it an expense or income?
expense.
Expense again, because an interest, it will be shown separately like number 6. They're going to be put together, but we're going to do that after. Can you see now? So there are expenses. If you put them under this, they're going to penalize you. Under this, you cannot put them under they are not operating expenses. Remember the whole thing here: distribution, administrative, and other expenses. In a nutshell, these are the operating expenses. These are the expenses which we incur when we are busy running the business on a daily basis.
Okay, can I ask something?
Yes.
On the subject there, where it says distribution and administrative, will they
Yeah.
penalize me if I say operating expenses and other expenses?
No, they won't. They won't at all. I'm telling you, they won't. As long as they know that they know accounting, those people that are, they won't at all. It's just that this is the term that they usually ask. Even some books allow other. Let's say they just allow expenses or expenditure.
Okay,
Yes, operating expenses they will still allow you to use.
okay.
Perfect. Are you okay? Are you okay?
Yes, yes.
Yes. So it means now we don't have to record this one. We will come back to 6 and 7. Okay? Remember, we're
All
checking
right.
the operating expense. What about number 8? Do you see an expense on number 8?
I think that will be an expense because we lost that money.
Yes, this money we lost is an expense to us. But there's a term that we use for this amount, for this. What do we call this? The person that you wrote off, what account must we use? What do you call them when you write some people off?
Credit loss.
I like that. Credit loss. Or you can say bad debts, ne?
Okay.
Yes. So because there's no other information, you just have to put it as it is. The amount is 4640.
Okay.
You see, just
My
mm,
the question there.
yes,
Okay, so you add in credit loss on the distribution, administrative, and other expenses
yes.
that it falls under.
It falls under operating expenses,
That
ne?
operating, yes, it falls under operating expenses.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. Only the interests are the expenses which are not operating, because the interests are very special. We get them because we have a loan. It's not because we're busy trying to make money during the business, during the business days. No.
Yes,
But all these things
yes.
is what we incur when we're trying to make money on a daily basis. I don't know if it makes
Okay.
sense.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yes. So if we check here, there's no anything. See now, this we can this one we have done everything except the 2 interests. Meaning we don't have any other expenses, because even if I can check up there and double check, there's no any other expense. There's no any other expense. The only thing that is left is to add our expenses together and put the total in line with these expenses.
Okay.
Yes. So we just have to add everything in this column.
Okay. I got my total.
Yes.
Okay, I don't know if it's right though.
It's
I
okay.
got 113,514.
Yeah. 514. Sorry, it doesn't look good, but I was to draw a line here just to show like the others on top, so that you can see. I'm trying to squeeze here to show that it's a total. Okay. So I don't know.
Okay.
So I'm trying to find out what can be the reason for this block today. It never happened. Maybe there's something that I pressed and then I didn't know. But I will find out. Don't worry.
All right.
I will find. But as long as you understand, if you are writing it from your side, obviously you won't have these boxes. I think it will look better there.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, can I
Yes.
ask a question? You just mentioned that the totals, you underline them.
Yeah, even if just for control, just to show that everything there that is here is, if you add them together, I got that. But if you don't underline, it's still okay. But some examiners, maybe they will miss that point. But as long as it's in line, this total is in line with what? With the distribution, it won't be a problem. Just for me, it's just for control. Just to show that, okay,
Okay.
everything in that block belongs to that total up there.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
Follow-up question.
Yes.
I see you put in brackets there on the total amount for expenses.
Yeah, because expenses are deducted. Remember, we deduct expenses, we add incomes.
Okay. All right.
It's like what I did here. Remember when we did this last week? Check here. This is
Yes.
an expense here, cost of sales. I did put brackets. Remember, I said you don't have to say less, but you
Oh,
can say less. Even here, you can say less. Can you see the fact that you asked me why I put brackets? Let me do this. Let me advise you. You have got nothing to lose. Instead of just saying distribution, just say less. It will remind you that when you go there, you must put brackets. Does that make sense?
oh,
You
okay.
don't have to
Okay.
do it, but it reminds you. It
Okay.
reminds you. Yes. Are you getting some?
Yes.